How are you? I'm doing okay. Today is Tuesday, August the 20th, 2024. I'm covering Tris Speaker's 22-year career. Hall of Fame, one of the greatest hitters of all time. And I'm proving it by looking at his box scores, accomplishments, and stats season by season. This video, 1918 season. Strange year. Why? They played from April to about the end of August. Why? Because World War I was going on in Europe, and the United States was involved. They cut the baseball season at the beginning of September 1918. Did you know that? I didn't know that. So as a result, ball players and teams just played about 127 game season. Tris Speaker, 127 games. Usually it's a 154 game season, but this year 127 because they didn't play. No teams played. 1918 in the month of September 1918. Tris Speaker, 127 games, 471 at bats, 73 runs scored. That's low. 150 hits. That's low for him. He's usually in the 180s, 190s, and 200 hits per season. 33 doubles, 11 triples. Did not hit a home run. How about that? You go the whole year, no homers. Back then, though, fences were pretty far away. Ballparks were large. If you did hit a home run, it was usually inside the park, over the center fielder's head, and it kept rolling. And if you're fast enough, you make it to home plate. 61 RBIs, that's back-to-back low output for Tris Speaker. The year before, he had 60 RBIs. This year, 61. 27 stolen bases, 64 walks. He batted .318. That's significant. Why? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. His 10th year in a row over 300. 403 on base, 435 slugging, 205 total bases. He had a 19-game hitting streak. That's pretty good. 42 multi-hit games, 32 two-hit games, 10 three-hit games. Did not have a 4 or 5-hit game. 15 games, 2 runs scored. 1 game, 3 runs scored. 10 games, 2 RBIs. 10 games, 2 RBIs. 3 games, 3 RBIs. 1 4 RBI game. No 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 RBI games. You know, that was what was significant about Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth. They had 6, 7, and 8 RBI games. Gehrig had like 3 or 4, 8 RBI games. Ruth had 4, 7 RBI games. Cobb had some 6 RBI games. So far, Tris Speaker has not had a 6 RBI game. So, I start off the video saying that Tris Speaker is one of the greatest hitters of all time. I'm going to stick to that. Why? 10 seasons in a row, 300 or better. He's a doubles machine. We know he has number 1 in doubles, 792. He has 42 doubles in 1918. Again, let me emphasize this guy. Getting a double is not easy. You can get a base hit, but getting a double, you got to make it to second base, right? So that means either you hit it in the gap, down the line, or over the guy's head, right? Down the lines, in the gaps, left center, right center, or over the outfielder's head for a double. Starting in 1909, let me just read the doubles year by year. 52, 60. No, doubles. I got it here. Start 1909. 26, 20, 34, 54, 35, 46, 25, 41, 42, and 33. He's on his way to 792 career doubles. So I think since he's number one, there's a lot of players playing. Why is he unique in getting doubles? Because he's a good hitter. That's why I call him one of the greatest of all time. Also, I can prove it by the 3,514 career hits. That's top 5 all time. And 345 career batting average. That's top 5 all time. You can't argue with those stats. The double stats, the career hit stats, and the career batting average stats. And it's no fluke, because he played 22 years and he had 10,195 at-bats. That's a measure of a ball player. Over 10,000 at-bats, you maintain 345 career batting average. That's why I call him one of the greatest of all time. That's 1918. They didn't play the month of September. He had 150 hits. September, he probably would have got about 20, 25 more hits. That would have been 175 for the year. That would have added to his total. All right. Next video will be 1919. We're going to go for the rest of his career. He plays until 1928. I want to see how he does. And so I'm going to look at every box score in the 1919 season and all the rest of the seasons up through 1928. And then we're going to do a recap on Tris Speaker, and I'm going to rank them. Where does Tris Speaker rank as far as one of the greatest hitters of all time? Now, there's a difference between the greatest hitter and the greatest players. What do I mean? Hitting means, what does it mean? Your batting average is high, you have career hits, and you look at doubles and singles and triples output, even the home runs. Now, he's not a home run hitter, 117 home runs career, but he is a doubles, triples, and singles hitter. So I rank him among the greatest among hitters. Ty Cobb is in that category. Stan Musial is in that category. Hitting. You have the career hits and the high batting average. Not just 280, 285, 300. But Ruth, how about Ruth? 340 career hitter. No, 342. Lou Gehrig, 340. Stan Musial, 331. Ted Williams, 344. Roger Hornsby, 358. And, of course, Cobb, 366. And you got Tris Speaker at 345. Those guys are among the greatest hitters. You got to add Tony Gwynn in there, 338. And Nap Lajoie, 338. Career. Another guy you got to add. Let's see, I consider these guys the greatest hitters of all time. If you go to Google and you put in career hitters, career hits leaders, it'll take you to Baseball Reference. Click it. It tells you the total career hits of ball players. Pete Rose, number 1, 42.56. But his career average, what was it? 303. Do I list him as one of the greatest hitters of all time? I would say he's up there, but there are other guys ahead of him. Why? Their career batting average, and they did it in 20 years, 25 years in some cases. So these are the guys. Now, there's, like I said, there's a difference between greatest ball player of all time, because that way you're an all-around player. Willie Mays, Henry Aaron are in that category, so is Babe Ruth. But as far as hitting, you've got to have two things for me. A high career batting average and enough career hits over 3,000. You got to be in that category. Now, Cobb is in the greatest hitters of all time category. 4,189 hits and the 366. Those two things. Who would I put else in there? Stan Musial. 3,630 hits. 331. Now, Aaron, we know he has 3771 in hits. He's got that category, but his career average is 305. That's the knock. Sorry. These other guys are up there in average. Aaron is 305. I put him in the greatest ball player category. You got Tris Speaker, the 345 average. You've got Camp Hansen, 334 career. Now, he was in the 1880s, 1890s, 1870s, 80s, and 90s. But 334, and he has 3,435 hits. That's a lot of hits. So he's in the hitter category. Honus Wagner's up there, 3,420 in hits. And he's got the 328 career batting average. So I put him in there. Eddie Collins, how about him? 333 career, 3,315 hits. He's in that category. Nap Lajoie, he's the other guy. Greatest hitters category. 3,243 in hits and 338 career batting average, right? Let's see. Yeah, 338. Him and Gwynn are at 338. Gwynn had the 3,000 hits too. You know who else is in the greatest hitter category? It's got to have the high batting average and the 3,000 hits. Rod Carew. 3,053 hits, 328 career. Who else would you look at that category? Boggs, Wade Boggs, 328 career, 3,000 hits. Look at some of these other guys. Sam Rice, 322, that's up there, 2,900 hits. Sam Crawford, no, don't put him there, but how about some of these other guys? Have you heard of a guy named Jake Beckley? Get the 2,900 hits. No, I'm not going to put him there. Willie Keeler, he was the guy I'm thinking about. 2,932 hits, 341 career. Greatest hitter category, 340. He had 2,900 hits. Should have kept playing for the 3,000. You know who else is up there? Al Simmons, 334 career, 2,900 hits. And here's another guy you can't overlook. Jesse Burkett, 338 career, 2,800 hits. See, they're not in the 3,000 hit category. And the other guy, well, you got Lou Gehrig at 340, Babe Ruth 342. They're below the 3,000. One other guy I gotta mention. Let's see if I can find him. Let's see. Have you heard of this guy? Punch his name in. Ed Delante. Why? 2,597 hits. His career was cut short. He had 16 years. If he had kept playing, he was on pace for 3,000. But what's significant about him? 346 career batting average. He batted over 400 3 times. Okay, so To me, there's a difference between the greatest baseball players all around of all time and the greatest hitters, pure hitting of all time. So, as far as this combination, how about this? How about the combination of high batting average and over 3,000 hits? To me, those are the greatest hitters of all time. Not just 280, 290, 300. And not just 320. Joe DiMaggio's in the 325 category. Didn't get the 3,000 hits. Ted Williams, 344. He had 2,700 hits, right? All right. To me, these are the greatest hitters of all time, combining career hits and a high batting average. Ty Cobb, obviously, number one. Right. 4,189 hits, 366. Those two combinations, you gotta pin him the greatest hitter of all time, not the greatest ball player of all time. Babe Ruth is in that category, and so is Henry Aaron and Willie Mays and some of the other guys, Ted Williams. But as far as greatest hitting, Ty Cobb, number one. Pure hitter, 366, played 24 years. The other guy I would put in as far as greatest hitters of all time, you got to go with Tris Speakers, 345 and 3,500 hits. That's a good combination. The other combination, see, Hornsby was 358. He had 2,900 hits. Should have kept playing for the 3,000. I guess you can put him in the greatest hitter category, even though he fell short of 3,000 hits. The other guy I'm going to put in there, Tony Gwynn. Why? 3,100 hits, 338. Nap Lajoie, 3,200 hits, 338. Honus Wagner, 3,400 hits, 328. These are the greatest hitters of all time. Al Simmons did not get the 3,000 hits, but Camp Hansen did. Hansen, 334 and 3,400 hits. I forgot a guy. How about this guy? Eddie Collins, 3,300 hits, 333 average. Would you agree with me? Combination, high batting average, 3,000 hits. Ruth didn't get the 3,000, neither did Gehrig, and neither did Williams, and neither did Hornsby, and neither did Delante, even though they're up there in average. What do you think of my analysis? All right, I'm done. What I wanted to do is point out Tris Speaker being one of the greatest hitters of all time, and I proved it by looking at each individual season up through this point, 1918. And I'm going to keep going. 1919 season is next. Talk to you later. I'm out.